curious of what made you think that you could go into the house against the court's order.
I'm thinking the door was already open and she left it recklessly open.
It's none of your business. Now, it's FHA Properties LLC versus Jackson. So previously, this case had been in front of me. There was a settlement on a conditional dismissal, whereby the defendant had agreed to move out on or before the 30th of September. And if they did and met all the other conditions, then the case would be obviously dismissed, so that hence the conditional dismissal. If there was any violation of the same, upon an affidavit of default, which I have in front of me, the plaintiff can request to reinstate the case and seek an immediate writ of eviction. Is that what the conditional dismissal stated in basic terms?
Yes, Judge.
So now you are seeking the writ of eviction?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe at this moment in time, the defendant is, and she can correct me if I'm wrong, that she still has or does have some personal property left in the property, but I will allow her to advise the court of such.
All right, ma'am. So are you asking to counsel? Are you asking to reinstate the case and set it for a hearing date? Or are you seeking a writ of immediate writ of eviction based on the prior?
Your Honor, we're seeking an immediate writ.
That's not what your request is. See, rest request. Okay, there we go. All right, writ of eviction. All right. And then, okay, so you're seeking it basically to set it aside, say she's in default, enter the default judgment, and then enter the writ, which doesn't need to be that lengthy, but okay. So, ma'am, hang on one second. All right. Now, you were supposed to vacate the premises on or before the 30th of September.
Correct.
You did not?
I did not, because Mr. Abdullah changed the locks. I actually requested this hearing. I had emailed you over our text messages. I was at work until 6 o'clock that night. I only had a couple items left in the house. I already had a U-Haul. I asked him where he wanted me to leave the key. I didn't have the key on me at that time. I asked him if he wanted me to leave the back door open for the next morning. He said, no need to worry about that at 3:51, saying that he changed the locks. He also went over into the backyard and emptied it completely out. My belongings are still in the home. I was trying to contact Mr. Abdullah all day on 9:30. I called Taylor Police Department. I called the courthouse. They told me that Taylor could kick in the door, technically. I didn't want to go that route because I didn't want to damage his property, so I emailed you.
All right, so the problem with the text message, the one problem is that I can't see the date. It just says yesterday.
It was on 9:30 at 3:51 p.m.
Yeah, it says 4:23 p.m. I see it. It says I already changed the lock, so there is no need to go back. I have to go back today. There is no need to come back. You have done enough damage. I have until midnight to get my, then goes next page, it's cut off. Midnight to get my belongings out per the court order. That's true. There was nothing in the house when I came. The front door was open. I left my house and you left the front door open. Unbelievable.
And I went back to
I can see things through the basement window that they're still in the basement.
Correct.
I don't know if they have some kind of chair thing, some kind of like, I don't know, dresser drawers looking thing.
Yeah.
Some kind of like light type thing. I don't know what that is, but it's a thing. I see some clothes. I see some, obviously this must be like a zoomed in picture.
Yeah, I just took that through the basement window when I went back afterward.
Okay, so you took it on August 7th?
No, I took that on 9:30. Oh, the clothes wasn't supposed to, that was from our last court date about the damage. Those pictures.
Oh, back in August. Okay. Yeah, I can see. All right, so I can see in those pictures I can see some of the items that are in the picture that you're taking. Like there's, I don't know what it is, some kind of
It's like
dresser
a massage
drawer.
chair, tattoo chair, and then there
Well, I
was,
see, hang on, so I can see across from that chair, there's a black dresser, looks like 1, 2, 3 drawers tall. I don't know if it's made out of wood or faux wood, but
real
I can
wood.
see that. I can see that in the August picture. I can see that in the current picture. Everything else is gone. A lot of the other things are gone. And what I'm assuming that is the basement.
yes, there was a couple more belongings in the basement. My curtains in the living room, which when I went back to the house that night, they were all cut up. I took a video that I tried to send it. It wouldn't attach. And also all my backyard stuff.
They were all cut up, you said?
Yes, he went in the house. I believe I can't get back in the house since he changed the locks, but I believe he destroyed my curtains along with everything that was in the backyard.
Counsel, did you advise your client to change the locks or anything on the date? Because this is at 4:23 p.m. So let's just pretend that I said you have until the close of business, and we'll call the close of business 5 o'clock. At 4:23 p.m., it's not 5 o'clock. And if you're in there changing the locks before the day is done, on the day that I said she has up through and including that day to vacate the premises. So on the very next day, you can come seek a writ of eviction. But did you advise your client that he could change the locks, or did he do this against the counsel's wishes?
Your Honor, I did not advise my client to change any locks on any properties. My client contacted me afterwards, and he's also here on Zoom as well that can answer questions. And I will. May I voir dire, Mr. Abdullah, if the court would allow me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Wait,
Yeah, please do, because I'm very curious here.
Mr. Abdullah, can you tell
First
the
off,
court?
counsel, Mr. Abdallah, do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Go ahead, counsel.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Abdullah, can you advise the court on what took place on September 30th, 2024 with respect to the property on Wolf?
Yes, Your Honor. So what had happened is I get a text from one of the neighbors stating there's everything on the lawn and the door is wide open. So I go there to see what's going on with the house, and the door is about 40% open to where somebody can see in the house. And I swear to God, that was the case, Your Honor. And after I seen Mrs. Heather's text messages stating, hey, I just have a few things, but I don't have a key. If I can leave the back door open, I'm thinking the door was already open and she left it recklessly open that anybody can.
All right, so let me ask you this: was the date at that time? Was the date at that time October 1st?
No, Your Honor.
Right. So you have no right of blocking her or doing anything against anything that I had already stated. She had until, and actually by your own agreement, she had until the end of the day, until the clock strikes 10/1/2024 to get her materials out of there. And if I want to leave the front door open because I don't have the key on me and I'm getting stuff in and out of there, then I'll leave the door open if I want to. Why? Because I have possession of the house. And if it makes it easy for me to get my stuff out because the door's open, because I don't have anybody to help me open the door when I get to the door, when I got my hands full of stuff that I'm carrying out, it's none of your business. Yeah. Now, if she had the house on fire, if she started a barrel fire in the middle of the living room using a metal barrel and just throwing garbage and wood in the middle and was burning it inside the house, then absolutely, boy, that's a way to stop something bad from happening to the house. She just had the door open. I could leave my front door open all day long. She could have been sleeping in there and had the front door open. If she wants to live vicariously, if she wants to live a little bit of risky business, someone might walk in on her while she's sleeping. Hey, I don't know, man, live your life the way you want to. But she wasn't doing anything damaging to the house. She was moving her stuff out. She literally sent you just said she was sending a text saying she didn't have a key. She left the door open. She's getting her stuff out.
So when you get a text from the neighbors that says all this stuff's on the lawn, well, yeah, maybe she's setting it out there, making piles of like, I'm just going to throw this away. I'll keep this. I don't know. She can do whatever she wants. She can set up her stuff on the front lawn and stage it for picking up by people or other people or someone who's helping her, or maybe just for herself, whatever. Because maybe the clothes and things are going to go on top. And maybe the breakables and things like that are going to go on a separate spot. Why? Because you don't just start throwing everything in the vehicle. You might want to stage it out. I do the same thing. I used to when I move stuff. So I'm just curious of what made you think that you could go into the house against a court's order, change the locks, because you literally changed the locks. You said, and I'm just going to go off what you said. I already changed the locks, so there's no need to go back. So, and you changed the locks before you even had legal possession of the home.
Your Honor,
So so what happened to the curtains?
the curtains were already all messed up. There were dog bites all over the bottom of them, and those I can provide and show you. And everything in the basement, still in the basement. I was just freaked out when the neighbor told me the door is open. So that's when I kind of got.
So everything is in the basement.
That's correct.
So basically for the last 17, 16 days, she hasn't had access to her stuff. And do you use the massage chair? Do you use that as a masseuse? Did you have clients and things?
No, it's actually it's a masseuse / tattoo artist chair, and yes, it does get used.
Okay, so you use it as a chair for giving tattoos then?
Yes, my boyfriend does.
Okay, and so you weren't able to utilize the chair for the last 17 days?
No, Your Honor.
Did that impact the ability to have
make
clients?
money. Yes.
Okay. And how many clients did you have to turn away because you didn't have the chair?
3.
3. And how much money, how much profit? How much money, listen, not how much money, how much profit do you make from doing a tattoo?
It depends on the tattoo. He couldn't even do the tattoo because it's $200 an hour. So it depends on how long the hours is. So I would say each client would probably be $600 to $700.
Okay, now you keep saying he.
That's my boyfriend.
Sure. Is he on the lease?
No, he's not.
Well, then that's between you and him.
Okay.
It's not your chair.
Well, yeah, that's why I told him. And yeah, that's so the only thing that was in the basement. I have a list.
All right. So the dresser.
Yes.
Were you able to keep your? You didn't have the use of the dresser, and you said that there's other things.
Yes,
so,
I have a whole list of everything.
So what's up with the curtains? Do they have any dog bites or tears or anything from a pet?
There was a little tear on the bottom from a dog, yes. But they were, when I went to the home that day, they were sliced. I mean, they were still curtains. I used them. I bought those on Amazon. There was 6 panels. That totals $237 with all the hardware. I have receipts for all of that. And then the backyard.
So when you say hardware, you installed the hardware into the home?
Yes. The curtain rod and what hangs the curtain.
Now, listen, I get it. But when did you do that?
I did that when I moved into the home because there was no curtains throughout the home.
Sure. When was that?
December 2023.
Okay. So when you installed that stuff into the home, it became part of the home. It's called a fixture. And would you damage the would the property be damaged? Would there be holes left if you were to take it down now, the actual fixture stuff? I'm talking about the actual mechanical parts.
Yes, there would be 4 holes.
Okay, so it would leave damage to the property. So you're going to leave those, and I'm going to assess $150 for used drapes because they weren't brand new, and you said that they already had some damage to them. So whatever 200 and something you're talking about isn't going to happen. 150 is sufficient to cover the loss of those. Now, counsel, is your client going to allow, and ma'am, when can you come in there to pick up the stuff, the remaining stuff that you have?
The next day I have available that I'm not working would be this Sunday.
So this Sunday, she's going to come to the property. What time can you get there, ma'am?
I can get there as early as 10 a.m.
All right, so you're going to get there at 10 a.m. or thereabouts. Listen, if it's 10:01, and you're like, oh, she's not here, I'm locking it back up, that better not happen.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm just, counsel, I'm speaking to you, counsel, because you're gonna explain everything, what's gonna happen, and you can explain how contempt of court works.
And then, Your Honor,
Ma'am, please stop interrupting me. Hang on, I'm going to get to everything. So, Sunday at 10 o'clock. Ma'am, this is going to be a one-shot, get your stuff and finish this off type of thing. You understand that?
yes,
So you have from Sunday at 10 o'clock to a.m., Sunday a.m. to Sunday 10 o'clock p.m. It's 12 hours to get your stuff out. If you can't get everything out in 12 hours, then I don't know what to tell you. And that would include round trips, like going to wherever it is you're taking it, emptying the vehicle, come back. I mean, your new location, how far away is your new location from this location?
about 25 minutes.
Okay, so round
It's only
trip.
one trip.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't know what's in there, and I'm just calculating to make sure that there's no reason for anybody to come back on this. That's all I'm looking at.
Okay, so
So if I got to give you 12 hours, don't drag your feet, obviously. But at the same time, if you need to stop and get lunch, I mean, I get that. I mean, so that kind of stuff. But if you need to make a trip, take it, unload it, come back. That's what I'm saying, 25 minutes. So if you spent, 2 hours, and so for every basically 3 hours, you can make a loading, go, and come back. And that's like 2 hours of loading and unloading, and then the 25-minute drive there, and then the 25-minute back. So you could technically make 4 trips if you needed to. So there's not going to be any reason you got anything left in this house, because anything that's left over in this house, he can toss it, sell it, do whatever he wants. You're abandoning it. You understand that?
yes, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. So now, with regard to how much was the rent per month?
1,600.
1,600. Okay, so here's how we're going to figure out the damages for that day, as far as getting locked out, and that is this: $1,600 is the is the amount of rent. There's 30 days in September. That's $53.33 a day. You owe her $53.33 because for the day of September the 30th, she wasn't able to use the property the way she had under the lease and the way the court ordered it. So you owe her $53.33 for that day, plus the $150 for the curtains. So that's a total of $203.33. Now, can you pay her that forthwith? And we'll just leave everything the way it is.
Yes, Your Honor. I can make a money order, cashier check, and just hand it over to her.
So
the day I
have
see her.
that pay that to her on Sunday. Make sure counsel maybe draft a receipt or something that the $203.33 was paid.
Will do, Your Honor.
And ma'am, you still have possession of the keys.
I'd have to find them. I believe they're at my mom's house.
Your Honor.
Okay.
And I
Yes,
do
sir.
have-
Mr. Abdallah, did you already change? Mr. Abdallah, did you already have new keys?
Yes.
Right, so that already proves that you did change the locks. But anyway, so that's gonna resolve the matter. If there's anything that happens contrary to what I just said with regard to resolving this, the party who is at fault for not taking care of making this be resolved after you guys already had an agreement to resolve it, will be held in potentially contempt of court. Was that understood by both parties?
yes, Your Honor.
So ma'am, that means get there, get your stuff, get out, pick up your check or money order or cash or whatever it is, sign the receipt. If you have the old keys, give them to him. If obviously he's already changed the keys, so whatever on that part. And then, sir, you're gonna give her access for 12 hours to, if you wanna sit in the street, sit in the street. If you wanna babysit it, it's entirely up to you. Why? Because it's your premises. I got no problem with that. But you're not gonna interfere with her, coming in and out, carrying stuff, whatever. You have no duty to assist her by helping her carry anything, move anything. Ma'am, if you're not gonna do anything that's like silly or anything damaging to the property, it's gonna be get in, get out, just use common sense and reasonableness while doing so. and, everybody go their separate ways, yeah?
Yes, Your Honor, can I just say one thing? The backyard. So he threw away my grill, 2 smokers, a weed whip, an edger, a gas can. When I went back to the home that day, they were not in the backyard. He completely emptied out my backyard. I had rocks from the UP that were sentimental for me that I picked on a trip, my chairs for the front porch, a garden bench that was out in the backyard. That was my
All right,
last vote.
So what happened with the grill and the stuff that was in the backyard?
Your Honor, that I have no clue. Maybe a scrap man might have came and seen everything on the lawn, maybe took everything. That I have no clue. Everything is still in the house, in the basement, as when I went and seen it. Everything outside, I have no clue.
All right, so, so ma'am, is it just as likely, ma'am, that someone could see you moving and could have just went into the backyard and just taken your stuff?
I mean, there was stuff on the lawn, but I know all my neighbors. I went to high school with the neighbor across the street.
No,
The neighbor next door.
I'm not asking that, ma'am. What I'm asking is this: when you went back to the property, when was the next time you went back to the property? You were
I
moving
went to the
stuff.
property.
You were there on the 30th. The doors were locked. You took pictures of the basement right then. Did you take pictures of everything else that you had in the yard?
I have pictures.
Why didn't you take the stuff that was just sitting in the yard?
I didn't take pictures of the stuff sitting in the backyard. I took a video when I got to the home.
Why did you, what I'm saying is, why did you not take pictures, or why did you not just take the stuff in the backyard then?
Because I didn't have room for it, Your Honor. It was gone when I went back to the house after he said he changed the locks. Before I went to work, everything was still there. When I texted him and he said he changed the locks, when I got back home that day, nothing was in my backyard and the house was locked.
So on the 30th.
And the garbage was still on the street, everything that I threw away, because it was garbage night that night. So everything was still on the front yard. It didn't look like anything was picked through.
So where was the grill? Because you said it was in the backyard, not saying it's in the front yard.
No,
You're saying
it was in the,
you didn't have room for it.
The grill was in the backyard along with the smokers right up against the house. I had all my lawn equipment right behind the fence. The fence was closed, and then all my grills right up beside the house. I have a picture of the grill sitting in the backyard previously. I didn't take a picture. I mean, then them not.
Sure. Listen. That's great and all, but I have no way of knowing whether or not, like the curtains. The only person who would have access to the curtains is the guy who put the new lock on.
Okay.
The grill is sitting outside. If somebody sees that you're moving, they could have easily said, "Man, they left this behind. I saw them loading up all that stuff. I'm going to snatch that grill and that smoker." Or maybe he threw it away. Or maybe it's in his house. There's all different maybes, and I can't go with maybe. I can't be speculative on damages and things like that. I have to have proof. If you had video of him loading that stuff up into his car, sure, all day long. But I have no way of knowing exactly what happened to those items. And you had access to those items. You could have taken those items, and you literally said, "No, I don't have room for them." I would have made room if the smoker and grill meant that much to me. And you said you were going back there because you had already gone somewhere to unload, probably, yes, and you were coming back?
Yes.
I don't know why you didn't have room, because if you had already unloaded, you should have an empty vehicle ready to take on more.
Your Honor, I was using my car. I wasn't using a U-Haul at that time.
Listen, I get that, but I can't. I mean, you had until that day to get that stuff out of there. If somebody else took it, I don't know. I can't have speculative facts. I have to have something concrete. So with regard to those, I can't speak to those. So $203.33. Have a check, money order, cash. I don't care which way it is. But you're going to sign for that. You're going to give her access for 12 hours to get her stuff out of the house.
Yes, Your Honor. How would you like?
And then everybody's going to go their separate ways.
Okay, and then there's no writ or nothing, Your Honor. This is completely done, right, after this?
Yep, everything's completely done, so yeah.
All right, sounds good.
Your
Thank
Honor.
you, Judge.
What's that?
Your Honor, how would you like me to provide access? Do you want me to leave the door unlocked? Do you want me to?
You own the premise. You own the premises. You can be right there to unlock the door. If you want to leave it locked until she gets there. mean, that's entirely up to you. And I don't want you to just leave it unlocked because obviously grills and things disappear. So I wouldn't want you to do that. But if you want to be there and unlock the door for her, go ahead and unlock the door for her. And then it's your property. It's not, I'm not saying you can't be there. But I'm just saying,
Judge.
don't interfere with her ability to move stuff out, or don't harass her in any way or anything like that. It isn't going to turn into the Jerry Springer show, and I'm not going to have the police go there to do some sort of civil standby. That's not happening either. But just make sure everything gets done smoothly and with civility, and that's all I'm asking. And if not, people are going to be held in contempt of court. That's all.
I'll explain that to my client, Your Honor.
Because all right. So, all right.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, this concludes the landlord-tenant section of today's proceedings. For everybody watching on YouTube, God bless America. Today is Boss's Day, so I want to give a shout out to my boss, my wife, Lisa. And to my good Lord, Jesus Christ. Everybody watching, God bless America.